So here inside this box is a Macintosh computer inside of a GameCube console, and yes, you did hear that right, and I'm just as surprised as you guys, so let's go ahead and open this box up and see what's inside. So it was actually a viewer of the channel that sent me this. He said, hey, I have this Macintosh GameCube, you want to take a look at it and do a video on it? And I said, yeah, it sounds pretty cool, let's do it. So that's about all I know, is that there's a Mac Mini or Hackintosh, something inside of this GameCube, and yeah, so pretty excited to check it out. Alright, so here's the console. And as you can see, it looks just like a GameCube. And then we have something inside of this pink bag right here. So inside of the pink bag, I believe, is a power supply. And yep, that is correct. All right, so here it is. And I mean, just first glance, it looks just like a GameCube. It's like a platinum GameCube. Nothing different on the front or top. Bottom has all of our, standard little things right here. Let's see if any of these pop out. Okay, so that's our first sign of differences. Oh, there's actually a GameCube. Oh, that's a USB stick. Oh, that's cool. Huh. I wonder if it's still a functional memory card, because I still see some circuitry down on this side, the actual part that usually plugs into a GameCube. And then this side has, looks like a USB stick, or maybe oh, wait, hold on. I get it now. So you plug this in, and it creates a USB port. Now you plug in your USB peripheral device, and it works. Oh, that's awesome. So as you can see, there's just some funky stuff right there. That's the PC or Mac or whatever's in here. All right, so then flipping over to the back, and okay, so now we're seeing some more signs of life here. So we got two USB ports. We have a Ethernet jack, HDMI port. We have our power jack, and I'm not sure where, oh, okay. We actually have, what is that, a second HDMI port? All right, so we have two HDMI ports. Not sure why. That's kind of cool though. And then flipping over to the top, the disk drive does still open, so I don't know if that's functional. Like, can you stick a disk in there and read it up on the PC? I'm not sure. This power button is just a switch. It doesn't actually stay down and go back up like a normal GameCube. Not really sure what to expect here. Let's I guess let's go ahead and plug this in and see what it does. So I got my power cord and HDMI cord plugged into the GameCube. Let's go ahead and try to turn it on, see if it works. So I'll just hit that power button. Oh, there it goes. I hear the fans coming out. Oh, the fan is actually blowing out the fan slot. That makes sense. And we do have a light right there, so we know it's on. Pretty cool. Everything was thought of here. Now let's see if it actually boots up. I don't see it on the screen yet. And we're up on the screen now. So what I need to do now is plug my mouse into this, into the GameCube PC, Mac, whatever you want to call it, and see if we can control it. All right, so I got my mouse and keyboard, and I'm gonna try to use this this memory card right here and see how it works. So we'll plug in our little dongle to the memory card. That's so awesome. Well, if it'll fit. There it goes. Yeah, it fits. And then we'll stick it into slot A, and we'll see if it works, I guess. It does. It works. My mouse is moving around. That's amazing. I mean, I know it's probably as simple as soldering a few wires from a few points to another few points, but it's still just it's a cool thing to do. All right, so looking at the screen now, it looks like we have two options. We have boot Mac OS install from Macintosh SSD, or we got boot Mac OS from Macintosh SSD. We got some settings. All right, I'm not gonna touch those because I don't want to mess anything up with his stuff. Got the Mac logo. I'm pretty sure this is a Hackintosh, if that's the right word for it, where it's not actually Mac hardware in here, but they use the Mac OS on like a Windows machine. He told me it has some certain PC in here. I'll throw it on the screen what it is. He also told me what the password is to log in, so let me get that real quick. So we're booted up in here now. Let's check what Mac OS we're on. So about this Mac, we're on Mac OS Catalina, and I think he has some emulators installed somewhere. Got OpenEMU down here. I'm sure that's probably it. Yeah, it is. Okay. So yeah, here we go. We got Famicom, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Gear, GameCube, Neo Geo Pocket, Nintendo NES, N64, Nintendo DS, Sega Saturn, PSP. Oh, that's just PS1. Super Nintendo, Virtual Boy. I wonder if that actually works. Let's check out all games. So we'll just try some of these out. So this is some stuff he has preloaded. We'll try the classic Super Smash Bros. And it's giving us a warning. It says the Dolphin Core has compatibility issues. All right, I don't care. We'll see what it does. See if I can play some Super Smash Bros. Melee with a keyboard. I'm pretty sure there are people out there that play Super Smash Bros. With a keyboard. Not me personally, but I guess we'll try it out if it even loads. I don't know if it will, honestly. All right, yeah, there it goes. It is working. All right, so it's definitely slow, but it's working so far. I don't know what the controls are except for the arrow keys and enter. I use the settings down here to assign some controls, and it seems to be working now. There we go. All right, now I just gotta remember what I set. We'll set it to normal, and it's lagging a little bit. We'll play with Link here. There's absolutely no way that I'm going to remember what controls I assigned, but we'll do our best here. It's definitely slow right here. Like, it's dropping frames. But I remember my jump button and A, so that's enough to at least get me around. Man, I'll just be happy if I can knock Mario off the stage. I'm actually very surprised I remember the controls that I assigned. I kind of just assigned random controls, and there he goes. Game. Oh, yeah. So GameCube doesn't work great, but it does work. Let's turn it off. I'm going to try one of these other emulators he has on here. So we got a Game Boy Advance game. We got Pokemon Emerald. I imagine this operation couldn't be completed. Okay, so I guess he's missing some cores here. Let's try Midnight Club. Yeah, we'll resume where he left off. Oh yeah, nice. I guess I got to assign some controls here. All right, I got some controls assigned. We'll see if it works. Oh yeah, there we go. Playing Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition. It's so weird trying to use a keyboard to play console games. I've never done it. I know people do it, but I've never been a PC gamer, and I don't use a keyboard for anything except for like normal computer tasks. Hold on. Can I use a GameCube controller on these games? Now, all right, so this is going to be next level if this actually works. We'll plug in the GameCube controller to slot number 1, and we'll see if we can get it to connect up. I'm not expecting much, but... Oh, hold on. I think it's assigned. Okay. I think it's actually working. All right, yeah, so it definitely is working, I think. No. Oh, no way it's working. Oh, wait. Oh, maybe not. Oh, I think I just assigned my controls incorrectly. So I'm playing PSP games on this GameCube. What? This is this is ridiculous. This is awesome. I'm definitely gonna have to open this up and check out what's going on inside, because there's definitely some slick soldering that happened inside of this thing. Now here's the real question. Does port number 2 work? Let's plug it in. Oh, and it does. Do ports 1, 2, 3, and 4 all work simultaneously as different controller ports? I would assume so, but I don't know. Let me see if I can find a game that supports multiple players, and we'll try out multiple controllers. So we'll open up Mario Kart Double Dash, because why not? We'll use a GameCube controller on a GameCube game. All right, controller number 2, we have a classic GameStop controller. So I assigned player 1 controls to player 1 and player 2 controls to player 2, so I think it'll work. I'm not sure how these are wired in here, if it's just wired in as like a keyboard input or what, but it's, seems to work. There's player 1. We'll try out player 2 here, and yeah, it's working. Maybe not. Oh, that's weird, actually. They're both controllers are showing up as player 1. Okay, so actually I think these 3 ports are not working correctly. We have input down here, we have keyboard, Pokken controller, which seems to be my GameCube controller, just plugged into here, and then we have add a Wiimote, so you can actually add a Wiimote apparently. So it looks like we can't do 2 GameCube controllers here. It would have been cool, but it just looks like we can't do it.
Hi, Danny the editor here. Just wanted to jump in here real quick and go over 2 main points that we discovered after filming this video. The first is regarding the controller situation with having 4 individual players all at once. We reached out to the guy who built the GameCube originally to get some further clarification, and based off what he had to say, along with some further testing that I did, this seems more like a macOS issue than any kind of problem with the GameCube itself. Basically, he's just using one of those like GameCube controller to Wii U/PC adapters you can buy on Amazon. And while this adapter would work pretty well for emulators on Windows, on macOS it seems to have a lot more issues. For example, I couldn't even get like the C stick to bind at all. The other thing I wanted to bring up is regarding performance, which is another thing that the builder kind of mentioned in his follow-up email. I ended up doing a bit of testing with some native installations of Dolphin instead of that OpenEMU thing, and performance was only a little better. It wasn't really noteworthy at all, but PS2 performance was quite good in comparison, I thought. Here you can see Ratchet & Clank running around like 50 to 60-ish FPS depending on the scene. But all around, while this is a pretty cool device, I don't really see any reason why it should have macOS specifically, and I think you'd see better performance, better compatibility, and better integration with the controller ports if this thing was running Windows.
Actually, I'm curious what this reset button does. Okay, it actually just resets the PC, just like it says it does. I mean, that's pretty neat that all these buttons here act just as they should on a GameCube, and it's kind of like Inception, because you can play GameCube games on a GameCube, but you're not actually playing on a GameCube, because you're playing on a GameCube that's a PC, that's actually a Mac. Kind of weird, right? All right, so we're going to stop testing this thing, and I'm going to open this GameCube up and see what's going on inside, because there is some interesting stuff going on here. I'm very interested to see what's going on in here. All right, so let's open this up. We do still have the tri-wing screws in the bottom, which is actually a pretty nice touch. All right, screws and flaps are removed. Let's go ahead and see if we can get this thing apart. And I did forget to mention, after I turned off the video, I did try out a GameCube game to see if it would load up in here. It doesn't. You can put a game in, but it doesn't ever spin up or anything. kind of expected. Would have been absolutely next level if that worked. Here's the top. Nothing special on the top, just standard GameCube. But you are still using the switches and everything. And we're about to find out what's going on in here. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to examine this thing a little bit because I don't want to mess anything up. But I mean, just like at first glance, the work done in here is crazy good. Like it just looks like a GameCube. Like it doesn't look like anything was added to it. It's amazing. Inside and outside looks like a GameCube. Like I know that's the point, but he did a very nice job of it. All right, so back part comes off, and I am curious what was done here. It looks like, I guess it was 3D printed. It says ABS there, so I guess this piece was 3D printed and then sanded down and painted. Like it looks really good, honestly. Like I'm impressed. And then here in the back, all right, so now we can get a better look at this thing. Let me zoom in a little bit. All right, so here's all the ports in the back. You got a heat sink under here, and whatever PC he used just fits perfectly under there. It's a very small PC, and even the I guess it looks like he added a metal bracket, because the metal bracket lines up perfectly, and then the metal bracket I guess screws into the GameCube shell itself. I'm gonna see if I can take this apart a bit more to see what's going on here, but like I said, I don't want to mess anything up. All right, so the front part finally came off. There are some wires going through there, and that's a very nice wiring job. Like the soldering looks really nice. Let me zoom in here. So like just looking at this front plate, you can see 2 wires here. You got your power and your ground going to the switch, which makes sense. So that's how you get power. Actually, that's a reset button. The power is back here, which also wires to the board. And then you've got some more wiring going on here, which appears to be the wiring for the controllers. Those kind of go up and around and go to the reset switch, which basically resets your PC. And then I also took some screws off here. We'll see if we can get this apart now. So I think I finally have the screws all off. Got this top piece coming apart so we can see underneath and see what kind of PC was used. All right, so here we go. Trying not to mess up any of these wires. So I'm probably not going to take it all the way off. But here we are, and wow, that is a very small PC. You've got your SSD here, 128 gigs. Got your ports in the back here. Got a couple RAM chips here as well. And then zooming in here, you've got a couple USB ports right here. And those USB ports appear to be the ports that go to the memory card slots. So you can see the little wire right there goes and wires into this memory card. That's amazing. Like I am extremely impressed here. I don't know why this is a thing. Like I don't know why you put a PC in a GameCube and then put Mac OS on it. I don't know. I'm sure he had some sort of cool intention for it. And honestly, I don't really care. I just think it's awesome. Like it's such a cool device. The wiring in here is very nicely done. Probably the best on any console I've seen that's been like some sort of custom console. And it's just, I love how it just looks like a GameCube. Like until you take all these pieces apart, you cannot tell that it's not a GameCube. It's just, which is pretty crazy. And honestly, looking at this front thing now, it does look like all 4 GameCube ports are wired up to separate pins on this board right here and then goes to the PC. So I think we should be able to use all 4 ports separately, but might just have to do some configuration. But that's insane that all of the original ports are being used for the PC. That's just next level. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.